Hey guys. So the reason we're in the dark is it's like 4:30 in the morning. I just got awakened from of a dream. It was a good dream. It's a dream that's we'll call it a dream that was 40 years in the making. So I'm gonna go back in time a little bit for this. This is gonna be a heartfelt, very hard video to do. Something I've been with for 40 years, and well, you'll hear. It's kind of the almost perfect story. So, flashback to 1984. I was 13 years old. Oh, I was going on 13. No, 1985. Sorry, I was 13, going on 14. So, me and my family. It was my mom, my stepdad, who I had hardly ever got along with, and my sister. We started going up to, well, we'll just call it up north, just out of her privacy. And we used to go camping. And it became a tradition for a couple of years. Every summer we'd go up to a campground and spend a couple of weeks up there. And it was fun, even though I was with my stepdad. It was like I said, this wasn't this was spending time with my sister and my mom. He just happened to be there. Anyways, let's make this a little bit more personal. So it was the summer of '85. Sounds like a beginning of the Dirty Dancing movie. Yeah. But we used to go up to a campground, and I was just very shy. Like, it's nothing like you see now. I'm kind of using the shyness with the darkness right here, because this is how I used to be when I was younger. Very closed, very quiet. Didn't talk to many people, and when I did, it was just like out of response, like "Hi, how you doing?" type thing. But it was like the end of the first week, and we had this little like hall that we would play video games in. There was a jukebox, and I was down there with my sister and a couple of like people that we knew, and this girl walks in, and it was like, you remember the movie Forrest Gump? When he heard the most sweetest voice, it was Jenny. When this girl walked in to it was like a barn type thing where, like I said, there was a jukebox, there was video games. But when she walked in, I saw the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my 14 years. And to say I was instantly hooked would be an understatement. And she came over with playing songs out of the jukebox, and I think the song on the jukebox was "I'm So Excited and I Just Can't Hide It" from the Pointer Sisters. And that was me. I was so excited to see this girl, and I didn't know her name, but I took a chance. I stepped out of my comfort zone, because, like I said, I wasn't a talker. I wasn't someone that interacted with people back then. And we started talking, and we instantly clicked. She made me feel happy. She was the first person I ever danced with. We would start seeing each other like every day, and a song came on the jukebox a couple days after that, and it was Almost Paradise by Ian Wilson and oh, can't remember his name. And from Loverboy, and that was a song we danced to. And so instantly that became like our song. You know, when you're kids, you always have a song. And that was our song. Almost paradise. We're knocking on heaven's door. That one. And like soon, my sister knew, my mom knew, and of course, moms like to tease. Your first girlfriend, your first love, and that's what she was. This girl was my first love. We would go to, they would have movie night every night, and they would have different movies playing, and we would go see those together, hold hands. It was good. It felt right. It felt natural. Here I am, young 14-year-old, and I could not wait for each day to come so I could see her again. Came to the end of the summer, well, end of the time that we were going to be together. Her family was slated to leave, um, like almost the same day. I think it was like maybe a day earlier, and we there was this like rock area, and it was our last day together of that summer. And I remember kissing her. It was the best day of my life. It really was the best day of my life. Her family said they were going to be back next year. We around the same time. So fast forward to 1986 now, and yep, her family arrived like 2 days before us, and of course, I asked the owner, and because he knew from the year before, like we were like so enamored with each other. He let me know what I can't remember what they used to call them, but it was like each area of the campground had a marking, like a marking number. And he told me the marking number of her, and yeah, I met her brother for the first time. And I saw him the year before, but he was always cool about giving us our privacy. But the next year, her brother saw me coming down the road, and we talked, and he goes, "Let me go get her," and I was like, "No, no, no." I was like, I was like, "Come down later to where we played the music at the jukebox," and I said, "I'll be standing there," and he kept his word. He came down, and I saw them coming. I turned my back a little bit so she couldn't see me, and the song was ending, and I played our song, and I turned around, and there she was. She was all crying and happy to see me. Ran over, gave me a big hug. And I said, I remember what I said. I said, "I told you I'd see you again." So it was another perfect. That word comes into play later, by the way. It was another perfect summer. This time we had like almost 2 full weeks together. And when I tell you that these were the best days of my childhood, by far, they were by far. We went to all the events that summer. The ice cream social and the movies, and we danced. It was my first, like I said, she was the first person I ever danced with. But now it was like more natural. Like I wasn't, I wasn't scared. Like I was the first time I was scared because I was shy, and this was in front of my sister, my mom. We were dancing that first summer together. This time it felt natural. It felt like this was meant to be. You as a child, you have this conception that this is how life is always going to be. Fast forward to 1987, we missed our family. They came up, but they left early this year, and I was devastated. Because shortly after that, like I said, I never got along with my stepdad, and we got to the point where they kicked me out of the house. My stepfather didn't want me there anymore, and I ended up living with my dad. And my dad was not much of a camper, so I thought I'd lost her forever. So I tried to move on with life as best as I could, but I never forgot about her. And I ended up getting married. That was the first one. The first marriage was a disaster. I got married a couple years later, and I always loved my wife. But fast forward to 2018, we decided to separate. So here I am, alone again, and like 45, 46ish. Yeah, 45. Fast forward to 2021. We're still kind of in that pandemic era, and the song "Almost Paradise" came on, and I've heard it over the years since I've not seen my first true love, but for some reason it hit harder this time. I'm 49 at this point, and I thought about her. I thought about those summers with her, and I thought to myself, I wonder if she's still out there. And with the wonderful world of the internet, I knew what town she was living in when we last saw each other. But I kept saying to myself, I remember her full name, but I'm like, there's no way that she's still living in this town. So I did a search, and I came across a girl matching her name, and it was on Facebook. And she had closed, so you could only see certain information. But one of the informations that she left open, well, sorry, this was actually a last name that matched in this town. It wasn't her name, it was a last name that matched in the same town. So I looked under their profile and I came across her name as a sibling. And when I clicked on her name, that's how I found out. One setting was particularly open, and it was the town. And the town matched the name of the town that she used to live in. And I said to myself, there's no possible way that this is the same girl. None. So I messaged her. And I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here because I don't remember the exact words I used, but I said, I'm not sure if I have the right person, but my name is Rob Mahoney. And as a kid, I went under the name Bobby. And I knew a girl who matched your name that lives in your town that I used to be in a relationship, as kids. And I hope this is the same person that I'm thinking of. And if not, I'm sorry to disturb you. So, when you're not friends with somebody, it goes to their spam mailbox or whatever it's called, the other mailbox. So I wasn't too hopeful that I'd get a response. It was about 3 days later I got a response, and with the capital letters OMG. I've been looking for you for years. I instantly cried. I instantly cried. We started talking back and forth on the internet for a little bit. And then, we called each other and we talked, and that spark had never left. She was so enamored that it was me, and I was so enamored that it was her. And we worked our way up to video calling, and we planned to meet. She told me right away that she had a lot going on in her life. She had 2 kids, and she was raising them by herself, and she had a full-time job. She had a lot of side projects that she was doing. So she told me right away that she's a very busy person. And so we would meet in a couple weeks, and it got to the point where we couldn't stop thinking about each other. That couple of weeks became like a week. And when we met again, like I said, nothing changed. The first thing we did was kiss. And I was so... my heart was just beating a million times a minute, because this doesn't happen in real life. In real life, something that's beautiful, you end up losing. But here it is. It was 1986 the last time we saw each other, and now it's 2021. That's crazy. Like, I can't even come up with 35 years. Yeah, 35 years later, nothing changed. Our feelings for each other never changed. And I can't say we saw each other every day, because Like I said, she had a busy schedule. I was working. She had kids to raise. So, you know, but our feelings were running wild. Um, we would see each other as often as possible. And it came to the point where, the drive was too long for her to come pick me up all the time. So I would, on my day off, I would take the train into Boston and then north up there. And yeah, it would take a while to get up there, but it, there was a prize at the end of the rainbow for it. And we would try to spend as much time together as possible. And this went on for about 6 months. And I wish I could tell you there was a happy ending, but we ended up stop seeing each other, and it wasn't out of hatred. It wasn't out of anything bad. Like I said, her schedule caught up to her. Then I had a lot of health issues coming up, and we still talk. And I wish I could tell you the fairy tale happy ending. But you know what? I got to do something that no movie has ever done. I've got to do something that not a lot of people have been able to do. I got to see the love of my life, even if it was just a short period of time, 35 plus years later. And you know what? I still love her. I'll always love her. And maybe, just maybe this story isn't over. Maybe there will be a happy ending sometime, but if not, I can live with this. Because she was someone I thought I'd never see again. And I think that would have been worse. The fact I got to see her again, and the fact that our feelings for each other didn't waver, was worth a lifetime. I'm only saying this because a lot of people, you know, always feel like there's never anything cool that happens to them, and this was cool. Oh, and to go back to that word perfect, by the way, just like Mike Reno and Ann Wilson, just like Almost Paradise was our song back then. Our new song during our time together was Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And this was a perfect moment, a perfect few months together. And maybe, just maybe, things will be perfect again. But this also explains why at times you guys will see me very, very sad. And it's not because I'm not with her anymore. Yes, I'm sad I'm not with her anymore. But I'm sad because I don't know if I'll ever feel that feeling again. And I do get lonely. Lonely because I'm not with someone. And I'm also afraid because I'm afraid if I'm ever with someone again, whether it's her or someone else, will it be as perfect as it was with her. So this is something I had to get out of me because I do spend a lot of days crying. I just want things to be perfect again. And if you watch this video, I was respectful to not mention names or places. And I love you. And I always will. thank you for letting me get this out. Much love.